in there and it's super scary and you're consciously trying to wake up, but it's difficult to wake up. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
that's probably, you're just right under the level of where you're breaking out. Like your consciousness is engaged as much as it could possibly be without taking the rudder, taking the stick, right? Your subconscious is still in control. So that's why it's a nightmare. But your consciousness is so in effect, and that you're seeing everything so vividly and feeling everything so vividly. Those types of dreams usually happen in the morning. If you wake up and then go back to sleep, those types of dreams usually happen in the morning for me personally.
So when you're in that stage, what's the best way to I guess calm yourself and wake up?
It's, well, you would have to. Have you ever seen the movie Inception?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, good. So his little totem, his spinner totem, you need to develop a mechanism like that will inform you that you are in fact in a dream. And if you can do that and practice that enough, it'll start to form as a habit within your dreams that you can trigger if you feel yourself, if you feel yourself starting to get overwhelmed. It's almost like that. So you start spinning that spinner in your mind. Now, for me, it was always flipping on a switch in a room. But it's something that if you look really closely at a book in your dream, you won't be able to read the words until you've reached. Yeah, I almost got that good when I was reaching almost full lucidity. But normally, if you read something in a dream, you won't be able to read it. It'll be gobbledygook. Or if you look at something really closely, you won't be able to see the detail that you should be able to see. Something like that, just a habit that you start forming, and you actually go. The last thing you think of it, like before you go to sleep, you're like, all right, the next time I'm going to wake up. All right, you don't think of it as the next time I'm going to dream. Think of it as next time I wake up, I'm going to check this specific thing to see if I'm actually waking up. Once you just develop that habit, you can use it to break out of the dream. And once you get good at lucid dreaming, it's almost like that next step where it's like a switch you flip. Now you're lucid dreaming. You flip that switch up just a little higher. It's like a dimmer switch, and then boom, you're woken up.
Have you found any I'm like really big into like law of attraction. Have you found anything that like relates to that with lucid dreaming? Do you find that if you get really good at lucid dreaming and creating your own reality, does it reflect in your reality as well?
I would say yes, just in the way that, like, if you know, it comes down. My dad harps. It comes down to living your life passively or living your life actively. And if you're living your life passively, then you're just reacting to things that are happening to you all the time. But if you're living your life actively, then you're going out and you're doing stuff, and you're not per se concerned about your successes or failures. You're just doing it, and you're creating an outward effect of cause and react rather than letting other cause and react ripples affect you. And so lucid dreaming is just practicing that in your dreams. But if you're doing it in real life, and Dab Dragon can relate to this, sooner or later, if you're doing it in real life and you're doing it in a positive manner, it's going to start having an effect.
Nice. Is Dab Dragon here in the house? Maybe he could talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, I don't think he is.
I haven't really paid attention to who's on here at all.
He's been resting, so I know he's been recovering from the flu.
Yeah, hopefully it was just the regular one and not the
yeah,
C word.
I hope so too. Yeah.
But sorry. All right, so where were we? I think I'm just looking back on my list here to see if I covered everything I was trying to cover.
Yeah, of course. While you are looking at that list, let me just let everybody know that the POAP for this event is out, and Dragonade went ahead and put the POAP password, which is Lucid in the Sky. Make sure you get your POAP. These are time sensitive, and if you miss it, you miss it forever. So go ahead and grab your POAP, everyone.
Now, none of what I'm saying constitutes as medical or financial advice. I have to get that across.
Yes, yes.
I did find when I personally, back in the day, practiced it a lot. I found a moderate amount of drinking before I slept increased my probability of lucid dreaming. Now, if you ever do it, that's all hands off. But a slight to moderate amount of drinking for me greased the wheels a little bit, so to speak. Not advocating it, just saying that's what happened for me. I will get one more. I think did I drop the Sleep Foundation link? I'm gonna drop that one again if I didn't. This one I found was really good. Yeah, if you have like issues with mental illness, lucid dreaming may not be the best thing for you. If you're taking meds or something to balance things out, it might not be a practice because it's pretty mentally empowering, and if your mentality is not stable, like I said, I stopped doing it actively once I couldn't tell the difference that one time between my dream and reality. That was my line that I drew in the sand. Actually, when I started researching the subjects in high school.
That you told us about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Well,
very vivid.
And that's and people. That's also another lucid dream experience is nested dreams. If everybody's ever had that, and they kind of got into that in Inception. It is possible to have nested dreams. At one point, I got 3 levels deep. And that was right around the time where I stopped being able to tell, because it's all fine if you have a nested dream as long as you can tell which level is the right level. But if the minute you can't tell anymore is probably when you should stop trying.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be really scary. You
It
don't
was.
know the difference. And how did you find out? How did you wake up from that last time that you tried? That was very, very vivid
Like I
for
said,
you.
I got probably about an hour and a half into my day. I was at school. I just got into my locker right before first period, and then I woke up again in my bed, and I was like, nope, this is reality. And it wasn't that I couldn't tell the difference. It was that I fooled myself, even though I was lucid dreaming. That was the scary part. Because when I really woke up, I was like, oh shit, that really was my best lucid dream so far. But that was, for me, that was a safety line. That was like, oops, press the escape button.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna back it off then. So I finished my paper. I think I got a B- on it because I pretty much, I didn't do any. I don't know if there's any much research published back then, but that was the days before you could just Google stuff. And I don't know that I did even that much research on it. I kind of just winged it and made most of it up myself. So I think the English teacher went kind of easy on me.
Yeah. And with all the shows that we do have here, we do try to make them all crypto related. Ben, talk about like BB Studios. Talk about your project.
All right. Well, and actually, the good segue into this was earlier when I was talking about how, part of lucid dreaming is exacting your intentions upon your dreams. And if you exact intentions on your life too, this positive things can happen as long as you stay positive. And for me, everything started from a single tweet. And I just proposed a project. And I really had only just dipped my toes in the NFT waters. I didn't mint anything yet. I think I purchased maybe one, or actually I traded Ethereum name service name for a really nice piece called Duality from Darkened Mood. And that's when I was like, oh man, this is awesome, And I randomly proposed a project on Twitter and I was expecting maybe one or two people were like, oh yeah, that kind of sounds cool, and I must have got 25 artists responding me within an hour. And I was just like, holy, like this is crazy. I've never gotten this much attention on Twitter before. And by the next day, I had almost all the spots that I proposed taken up. And it was just first come, first serve. I was just like, whoever wants in is in, as long as you got the hustle. And so someone was like, oh, we should start a Discord channel. And I had heard of Discord, had not been on that yet. And I was like, all right, let's do that. And I'm really glad I did that because it would have been impossible to coordinate a project like this without Discord.
Yeah.
There's just no way. If I'd had to do everything on Twitter or everything on Gmail, it just wouldn't have worked. So I started the Discord channel, started figuring out Discord, and one of the initial artists that signed up recommended a couple other artists, and those artists, CryptoUna, got a shout out to her. She hooked me up with some people in this area and everything. I just started talking to people and fell into this space. And then we decided, we got all this momentum. We pulled the trigger. We bought a land in Decentraland. It's at 38103. So it's BB Studios out there. Right now we've got a scene we put up for Dr. Jones. That's one of our guild members. And I got the whole idea for like an art guild from a old video game I used to play back called Quest for Glory. They had a adventurers guild in that game. So it was like, this kind of sounds like something, and everybody kind of coalesced in the Discord channel, and then we got like a pretty good community in there right now with probably 10 or 12 core artists that are really active on there all the time. Then other people just pop in and pop out, say what's up, and they're all bouncing ideas off each other for all these pieces we're creating. So the initial name of the project is Harmony in Discord, and I came up with this idea before someone recommended Discord to me as a medium, which was kind of funny. So it's going to be 10 collections in all, and we're starting off with 4 collections. And the first 2, I wanted initially, like, I wanted the collections to be kind of the opposite of what CryptoPunks and CryptoKitties, or Cyberpunks and CryptoKitties, like all those. I know that they're, as a programmer, I know like the work that went into them to make them unique and rare and everything, and I appreciate that. But I also wanted to make collections that are unique. Each contribution to the collection is unique. Like they don't look homogenous at all. And so that was my idea, is we let the styles of the individual artists stand out within each collection theme. And the collection theme makes the collections collectible, but the artists, the individual artists, their styles, the mediums they choose to submit in, those are what make the collections desirable. And so, like, if you're a collector and you don't like stills, but you're to a 3D modeling, then you're going to like one portion of the collection. Whereas if you're into stills and you don't like movies, then you're going to be into a different portion of the collection. But the idea is that we'll have something for each person with their individual tastes, while still being collectible as collectors, if they just want to get a piece of each collection. So the idea is we ease people in with the first 2 themes are cyber cats and cyber dogs. And I'm well aware that the areas have been overdone, and I actually did that on purpose because I wanted these projects to contrast against the ones that already exist. So that's how we started But yeah, and then we're going to start going a little bit higher art style, or just fine art. I don't know what the right, the politically correct term is, but say like, so the next one after that is heroes versus villains, and we're going to allow the artists to just do either historical characters or literary characters for the most part. But I'm not really curating any of this stuff. It's when it comes right down to it, it's the artist has the final say on what they're actually submitting. I think that was sort of the appeal to a lot of these artists when they were thinking about joining the project. So I can tell you, I've already seen a bunch of submissions, and people are just getting wild with these things. Like heroes versus villains already. I'm like pretty blown away by most of the submissions already. Like the Cyber Cats and Cyber Dogs, I think are just visually stunning. But like the heroes versus villains, and then the one after that is Life's Fire, Death's, and that is some like real next level stuff. And I just think that collections like these could really inject some of the traditional art world aspects into collecting, and like meld that whole Venn diagram of the people that are aping into NBA Top Shots with the people that go to the galleries and buy one piece a year. Try to meld those two circles into a Venn diagram type situation. I don't know. That was my idea for the initial idea for the collections. And so we've been talking to the artists, and we've decided that we are going to try to franchise out. In addition to the guild presence that we have in Decentraland at 38103, we are going to have one of our guild members, Eric Second Realm. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's got an awesome podcast. You should definitely check it out. I actually did a podcast for him. He's in the middle of editing it.
Sweet.
But he's going to let us franchise out into crypto voxels on his piece of land he's got, and it's like right in the middle of the main island somewhere. So that's going to be awesome. And then I went ahead and bought 2 plots of land for the sandbox game. I've since realized that it's more like game related stuff. So I'm not sure if I'm just going to develop a custom game for that, or try to do like a game-based gallery. Me and the co-founder, I got introduced to the co-founder actually. His name is Bake.eth, and he's been kind of silent for most part because he's pretty busy, but he's going to be introducing some art too. So I greased the wheels. I'm just like introducing him by name, by his art name. So he'll be putting in some pieces into the collection as well, actually. So, but yeah, I've seen him and I, for the most part, are the only ones that have seen the submissions for the first 2 themes, and I want to do it that way because I didn't want any of the artists to influence each other for the first 2 themes. Now the third theme, the heroes versus villains, we actually are getting the artists to collab with each other, and one artist will pick a villain and one will pick a hero, and they're supposed to be related to each other in some fashion. And then I don't know, we may combine, as long as the mediums match, we may combine them somehow into one piece for each artist. We haven't really threshed that out yet. So we're also, at the moment, we're waiting for a couple more submissions. We're waiting for platform issues to sort themselves out.
For people that are interested, where can they submit their submissions? Where can they sign up? Do they just directly message you?
Yeah, like I'm not sure how many more members we're going to take to the guild right now. I'll definitely consider probably up to 10 or 15 more, depending on how many people flake out on the first 2 submissions. I told people that they're automatically in as long as they submit to the first 2 themes. And I'm not going to be a babysitter. I'm going to, give people heads up that have not submitted yet. But if those people flake out, then I'll definitely consider other people for members. But we want to keep it a little bit exclusive, just so that we can say that I'm not gonna curate art per se, but we're just gonna say that we're curating the artists a little bit. And that's hopefully a pitch that'll ring true with some of these marketplaces that we're trying to get into. I've put in a couple applications to marketplaces as a guild, so I'm waiting to see how that plays out with those guys. And I'm also waiting. There's a lot of tech issues right now with ETH gas being high, so kind of waiting to see if some of those issues fix themselves or we have a couple other options to mint on.
Yeah, gas prices right now have been ridiculous and we're all feeling it.
Yeah, Magmaster made a good point on Dab's show the other couple of weeks ago that at first, when the Ethereum prices were just at the perfect amount, it created it was acting as an artificial curation device, and so people
Hmm,
were thinking twice before they minted just anything, right? But then it
right.
just got the equilibrium just was blown out of proportion, and now you're only minting something if you have a sale or something. If you have pre-sold it or something for some people, and it's like the the filter has become too opaque. The gas is it's 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 stopping up the creativity a little bit, in my opinion.
I agree to an extent to that too. Back when it was super, super cheap, we were able to do a lot more stuff and mint a lot more. But with that, you're right. It did get a lot of people just minted a lot of crap, you know? And then now you have to think twice, like, okay, do I really want to mint this? It's gonna cost me a couple $100. So I better know that this is gonna be something successful.
And I think that it might be okay if gas stays this bad on just Ethereum, and we have other options that people are using robustly. Like if OpenSea said they're going to allow Tezos soon, and if they allow that for minting and for sales, that now because a big problem is a lot of people that want to sell art for what like 0.05 ETH, 0.08 ETH. How are they supposed to do that if the gas is going to cost more than their item?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
there's so many good stuff that I even want to get that's, maybe like $40, even like 100. And yeah, you're
and
right.
there's a
It's like
lot of people
more
that'd be
than
willing
that.
to pay 20, $40 for NFT, and they wouldn't think twice about it. But they're going to think twice if there's a $60 charge on that $40 NFT
Yeah.
purchase. But if OpenSea or if other marketplaces start being more flexible, I'm sure there's definitely some marketplaces out there I'm aware of, uh, Ghost Market, uh, Wax. Some of these other chains, they're using other chains. Like it's just going to be a shakeout to see what people start to use and like all the other features that come with alternate chains. But I think there's definitely going to be a place for lower tier sales, wise, like maybe higher volume but lower overall per piece sale price. Like if we can get a solution to where it costs you $1 to mint a you know $30 or $40 piece, you're going to see that market spring right back, I think, and then some. Like that's what you need, I think, in terms of mass adoption. You got to ease people in. They're not going to be buying $2,000 pieces of art right off the bat. They're going to start
Yeah.
with 5, 10, 15, $20 pieces, and that's the base of the pyramid you need to maintain everything, right? Like that's if you
Right.
want to be selling stuff on super rare sustainably for those kinds of prices, you need a good base of support underneath it, in my opinion, for it to be sustainable and not just a bubble. A lot of people think the NFT world right now is bubbly, but I think that is true only if we don't figure out a solution to the gas prices to let everybody else back into the playground again.
And Ben, you mentioned the Decentraland address. Do you have that link to make it a little bit easier accessible for
Yeah.
people in the chat?
Sorry, I
Yeah.
forgot to drop that. Let me pull that up
Yeah, no
right now.
worries. And then while you are looking for that, I'll drop down your Twitter so that they could find more information.
Here it is. Drop it right now. There's our gallery link. What's nice about the Decentraland, and I'm not sure about CryptoVoxels if they're the same way yet, because I haven't gotten into actually publishing a scene on there. But with the Decentraland, it doesn't actually cost you any money to publish a scene, which is great for us. When Bake.eth and I were talking about getting this land, we only had enough money to get one parcel. It's only because I got in when Nano was real cheap one night, and we found this guy that just didn't update his price for his parcel, so we got our parcel wicked cheap because they are expensive now. But we only have one parcel, and we're like, what can we do with that? It's a little tough. A lot of these other galleries are really big, so we thought we'd kind of flip the script a little bit, and instead of these big, huge, gaudy galleries, ours is just 2 brick walls. And we don't even sell any of the art there. We don't have any NFT contracts written into the scene as of yet. We're just putting the art right on the walls as textures. So it actually, if you have a crappy computer, you can go into our scene and still view our art really easily, as opposed to going into regular like super rare gallery and sitting there for like each picture to load. Our scene just loads up right quick, even if you have a really not great computer. So that's one advantage, I think, to our gallery. And right next door, we have a more traditional gallery run by a guy named Ink Terrorist on Twitter. I'm not crazy about the name, but I think he's French. But he's got a cool gallery too, so it's kind of nice. We got a neighbor. Once you're done looking at our stuff, you can just turn right around, and his gallery's right over there. You can walk over and look at a more traditional type gallery where you can purchase stuff right from there. We might
Nice. Yeah.
we might do the same thing for a CryptoVoxels one, but just we want to keep things real simple for the Decentraland. Just kind of go minimalistic on the scene.
I'm looking at it right now. I see Dab Dragon. I see Dr. Jones.
Yeah. So Dab, we're
Nice.
just doing a show on. We're just doing like 5 or 10 minutes at the beginning of Dab Dragon's show now. Every week we try to switch in a new artist and put all their stuff on there, and then we'll go in the scene. Dab Dragon will take a field trip into Decentraland during a show, and we'll get the artist on there and talk about their inspiration behind their pieces. And it's really
So
cool because kind of what Known Origin does, obviously.
the theme for this was this like skulls or something? What was the theme for this one?
For the one that's up right now, Dr. Jones,
Yes. Oh, nice.
that's just like his art. He collabed a lot with Dark and Mood a little while back, so they had a lot of similar looking pieces. I think he chose to put up there. We put up 2 videos in there too. You can walk up and click on them, and they should play.
Yeah.
The one with the old lady, you go into her eye, and it's like the universe. That one's really really cool, I think.
Let me make my way to there. Oh, wow.
So I initially tried to get it in our scene so that you could fly around like in Megacube, but I couldn't figure out where in the code they were doing that. I think they might have done something custom.
Yeah, they did something custom too because I noticed that it was only there within the mega cube that you could fly.
Yeah, I was hoping it was like an environment setting that you could just set, but since you couldn't do that, I went ahead and added that little platform there to raise you up so you can check out the art on the billboards a little better.
Oh, that's what that is for. Oh, I'm going up. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually meant to slow that thing down a little bit. So once you get to the top, I forgot to get it back and make the edit. What's really cool, I don't know if you noticed, like I guess they did it for the first time for first birthday of DCL, where they had a night scene for the whole world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you know if they're doing that on the regular now?
I'm not sure. I'm not with the Central Land. I go in there and I like going to Frankie Needles, and then I like doing the casino nights as well. But as far as and the Mega Cube, but as far as like being there constantly to know that information, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. I've popped in a couple of times since then, and it's been night. And
Yeah,
personally, I
it's
think
night right now.
is it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at your screen. Did you screen share it?
Oh, no, 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 I'm not screen sharing. Let
Oh,
me
okay.
see. Let me see if I could do that. Yeah, but it's night right now.
I personally think our scene, our gallery looks 10 times better at night.
Yeah, it does look, it adds a special touch to it, especially with the dark theme.
With the dark art, yeah, definitely. We had
Yeah.
Dark and Mood on here before this, and his just looked awesome with the night. This is much darker.
No, this is lovely.
So that one, the one you're just looking at there with the skull, look at the cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Jones was talking about on Dab Dragons, he was saying that his inspiration for this piece was like if there was like a catastrophic event, like, the meteor hits the earth and everybody dies all at once. He's like, there'd be like 2 billion people, there's skeletons just sitting there with their phone on their bed. Just like that. That was his inspiration for that, which I thought was kind of funny. So yeah, we've got this going. We're doing shows for all of our guild members, kind of introducing them to people before the collections start coming out. Because we really want people to get to know the artists, because then that will make the collections more collectible, in addition to the umbrella themes that everybody's submitting under.
Yeah, no, this is really lovely. Looking at Dab Dragons. Dab Dragon's work has immensely like been, he's just upgrading himself for
We're
sure.
gonna have to give him his own show, actually. And what's nice about it is I can switch these scenes in and out, and then if someone wants it, like I can just give them the scene and they can put it up in their own piece of land if they have that.
So all these four are Dab Dragons?
No, these are all Dr. Jones.
Oh,
Dab
they're
Dragon's
all
just sponsoring the shows.
Oh, wow. I was thinking that this section right here was Dab Dragons
No, we haven't
and
showed
was
any of his
thinking
stuff
this
yet.
is Oh, okay, now I understand.
No, Dr. Jones is pretty versatile, actually.
Yeah.
Especially that one on the lower left, that video too. Like that video, the sound to it is just like, if you're not instantly in good mood when you listen to this thing.
Let's see.
Hopefully it
Let's
plays.
listen to it. This one?
Yeah, hopefully it plays.
Okay.
I just think that's like audio therapy right there.
Yeah, I'm really digging this. I like this a lot.
Right? I mean, it just goes to
It's
show
my
how
vibe.
versatile he is. He's just all over the place. I can tell you I think I might make his Cybercat submission the first piece of the first collection.
Let's take a listen to this one too. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's really great too.
Wow. Oh, that one made me feel really good.
Yeah, you can't. You're pretty dead inside if you're not something from that video.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's been really fun putting up all these new scenes for all the artists. And the way Bake.eth and I do it is we're keeping the same background every time. We're not changing the scene itself, and that allows him to have enough time to rip out all of the pictures and put new ones in for each new scene without taxing his time too much. Because I would be really, he's doing most of the work for these scene setups, so I need to be careful about how much time I use to his every week to be able to do this stuff. But keeping it real simple like this has helped out a lot, and I think it doesn't I think it lends more to the art itself. Like we're not trying to take away from the art with our gallery. Like the art is the gallery.
Yeah. We're coming 10 minutes to the next show. Anything else that you forgot that you want to go ahead and let the people know?
We part of the guild. I think we have to thresh this out, and it's going to come down to sales of the collections too. But part of the guild idea that we're going to do is, and I need to get a lot smarter people than myself that have dealt with these kinds of things. But we want to create a guild token that represents membership to the guild, and then we want to siphon off just a small percentage of each sale of each piece into and create a liquidity pool around the guild tokens that the members will have access to. And we're hoping to do that to create some more like sustainable income or like access to capital if you need it, something like that, or even down the ways having like a financial incentive for an underperforming guild member to rent or sell their membership to a different artist. So we're going to be exploring that concept later in the year once we become more established and start getting some sales and everything. So really looking forward to how that plays out. So
Yeah. Everything with its time, it'll definitely happen.
yep, fingers crossed. But looking down the road already. So gotta have a bunch of ideas in the hopper because we know some of them don't work all the time.
Yeah. So if you guys want to connect with Ben from BB Studios, once again, you heard him.
I just typed in my. Let's see if I get back to. If you guys want to, if you're interested in some aspect of the project, you can just hit me up at get off.
And then I don't know. Oh, okay.
Sorry,
I wasn't.
Yeah,
no, I wasn't sure if my network dropped or not because it's been really windy in LA for some reason. I think it's like the Santa Ana winds coming in. So yeah.
That's my email address I just dropped. If anybody wants to get in contact, if you want to help out with just getting the word out on the project, or if you want to get involved with the project or involved with the guild in case some artists that have already applied flake out. I do expect to have a couple that might flake out on me. I'm not sure. We are dealing with artists, so they will do whatever they want to do.
Any requirements for the artists that you do have?
So really, the only two rules we have for like the artists when they're contributing to these collections is they have to incorporate some part of the theme into their submission. And then the other rule is you just have to stay true to your style. Like that's the thing. Like people are like, oh well, what size should I submit this still in, or am I allowed to do this? Submit a movie with audio. And I just tell everybody like there are no rules on that. Like do whatever you want to do because I want all this stuff to be super diverse, and that's what we've ended up with. Like these collection submissions. And I'm gonna, part of the reason I'm holding off with the minting. I need to find IPFS support for some of these pieces because some of these pieces are super involved, super crazy 3D stuff. But I can tell you, I've seen all of them, and I'm a pretty big fanboy of most art, but I do have my particular tastes. But I still think that like all of these are just like blowing my mind right now. Like it's great to see. And like especially like the third and fourth themes, the stuff that's happening with the collaborations now is pretty exciting.
Definitely. So you definitely also encourage new artists, people who haven't even minted anything as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I went through a couple of days ago, and I just went through all of the lists of followers, and I actually followed anybody that was a self-described artist. I followed automatically, just so if you drop stuff in the stream, they'll show up. And I'm usually try to retweet anything I think looks cool or personally. That's usually when I'm retweeting stuff. It's my personal preference if I think it looks awesome. But I'm not like only retweeting guild member stuff. You know, if someone tweets something out, it looks awesome, I'm going to retweet it.
Cool, cool. So yeah, we're coming to the end of 5 minutes. What do you like collecting, Ben?
You know, my personal preference is kind of old school. I like landscape themes. I just like the
Any
tranquility of
preference?
nature.
Oh, yes.
You know, it injected into the art. Like I just think that's awesome visually.
Any preference between like mountains, beach, uh, anything?
I think I have a preference towards like you know what? I guess I can't say that I have a preference because I really like oil paintings and acrylic paintings, but then there are some watercolors of landscape things that are just like blows my mind. Like watercolor is so hard to do well. Like I just really I'm terrible
Yeah.
at watercolor. And when I see a good landscape done in watercolor, that usually impresses me quite a bit. But yeah, I'm just a big fan of landscape. I guess what you could say traditional art or like style. Bob Ross, I loved watching Bob Ross. Growing up.
Yes.
I watched almost every. I mean, I didn't have cable when I was a kid, and TV 34 was on all the time. And during the summer, I'd watch Bob Ross shows constantly.
Sweet. Nice, nice. Well, thank you so much for your time and introducing us to lucid dreaming, a topic that I was very just curious about because I know we've all had those one-time dreams where it's so super vivid. Um, so
Yeah,
thank you for
just jumps out
explaining
at you.
that. Yeah, it really does. And then thank you also for inviting us into your gallery and BB Studios. And you guys heard it here first. If you want to be a part of the guild, please contact Ben. He's accepting all artists. So please message him if you have any questions regarding that. 3 minutes to we start the new show with Who What Wearable with Lola Roses. She has a contest going on, so I don't want to spill the beans. But yeah, I guess if you have anything else to say, Ben, please, and then I'll start some music and then get everybody moving into the next channel.
We also are gonna. We have a private Tezos baker, and we did draw up Baked Duddies, and I drew up term sheets for that. We're probably only gonna accept people with at least 1,000 or like half a roll worth of Tezos, but we might experiment down the line with putting some artist Tezos there for some sustainable art production.
Yes, I love Tezos. I'm staking in that. So
Nice,
awesome.
nice. So yeah, if
Yes.
anybody's interested in delegating to our private baker, they can contact us at BlockBake Studios. I'll put the email up again.
Awesome. Okay, everyone. So, like I said, next show is with Who What Wearable. And if you have any questions, message Ben from BB Studios. He also dropped down his email. We dropped down his Twitter as well, and the website, and the Decentraland location for everything related to what we